Hey, it's me, Zak Wolf, and because Halloween is upon us, one of my loyal viewers requested I do this. I compared this book, the Berenstain Bears Trick or Treat, with the TV episode version from the 2003 animated series produced by Nelvana and aired on PBS here in the States. As seen in the YouTube poop, the Berenstain Bears suck at Halloween. Yeah, this book was originally written and published in 1989, which was over 2 years after the CBS animated series ended. Also, after Southern Star, the company to co-produce the series with Hanna-Barbera, was folded into Endemol Australia, Nelvana got the distribution rights to the CBS series, so they could presumably own the full animated Berenstain Bears library, and make it easier on distribution rights and stuff. And yes, it's Berenstain with an A. And the 2003 series went and adapted even more books than the 1985 series did. Not just books from 1987 to 2002, but even certain pre-1985 books that the 1985 series did not adapt. Heck, CBS didn't even want Stan and Jan to adapt too much TV into an episode, but Nelvana and PBS had no problem with it. Anyways, on to the story. Look at this opening poem. Even little bears expect a good fright when they go out for treats on Halloween night. The TV version opened with a different poem spoken by Mama Bear.
Things aren't always quite what they seem when bears go out for treats on Halloween.
So we already have a difference there. But this is actually a pretty faithful adaptation of the book. Something the series often did better than the 1987 series. Well, with a few exceptions. But hey, they made great YouTube poop material. Anyways, moving on with the story. The TV version opens with a scene where brother and sister are strolling through the neighborhood, talking about their Halloween plans that the book will get into a little later in the story. And then they come up to Winter Jones's house, who's rumored to be a witch. In the book, she's named Ms. McGrizz, but in a way is essentially the same character. So I don't know why they changed her name for the show. Maybe because they already had other characters with Grizz in their names. Yeah, you know, like Dr. Grizzly, Mrs. Grizzle, and stuff. But anyways, after that, the TV version continues like the book starts off, with Mama Bear arriving home from grocery shopping, except the book here sets the mood and tone of the season. And then it goes on to describe Brother and Sister Bear's costumes. Now, Brother's monster costume has a big difference. In the book, he wears a plastic mask over his face, looking like some kind of demon dragon. As the book describes, he had bought the spookiest monster mask he could find, and Mama made the rest of the costume. In the TV version, Brother's costume just has an eye mask attached to a hood. But Sister's ballerina costume is identical in both versions. And in both, Brother tries to scare Mama with his monster costume. But Sister does so in the TV version as well.
I guess I'm all alone in the house.
Boo!
Oh my!
Really? Ballerinas are scary? But in both, Mama fakes being scared. You can tell in this illustration with her smile, as if the text saying, "Help, a monster," she cried, pretending to be frightened, wasn't enough. The TV version has her play it up a bit more.
Those certainly are spooky costumes. I'm so scared I can't put these groceries away now.
And then Papa decides to add a bit of his own as well.
Ouch! I can't see. Oh. Oh.
Papa? Aw, it's you.
and that prompts Mama to talk about how appearances can be deceiving, the story's main life lesson. While the book has to bring that up after Brother's little attempt at scaring Mama. Also, this bit where Mama mentions the goodies are for the trick-or-treaters tomorrow night. While in the book, this scene takes place on Halloween Day. Also note that Mama didn't wear her yellow go-to-meeting hat. Like she, in the TV version, she just wears her usual blue nightcap to go shopping. The book also mentions this is to be the first year they'd go trick-or-treating without a grown-up along to supervise, which the TV version doesn't mention, even though they still go out without an adult. You almost never see trick-or-treaters going out without any grown-ups these days. Pop also carves a jack-o'-lantern here. Maybe the one we saw in the TV version that Papa wore like a mask was also one that he carved, but to wear over his head. And then Mama also reminds brother and sister with some basic rules here. Yeah, stay in their own neighborhood and don't eat any of the treats until they're back home. Yeah, regarding the latter, it's because some people think that some of the treats may have been tampered with, like poisoning the candy bars or the homemade goodies, or putting sharp stuff like needles or razor blades inside apples or larger candy bars. Ugh. That almost never happens in real life, especially these days. But it's still a good idea to wait until you're home to eat your treats. In the TV version, Mama and Papa remind them of the rules as they're heading out to trick-or-treat.
Remember, stay in the neighborhood.
And don't eat any treats until you get back home.
And then after that, Brother reassures Mama that they won't really be by themselves, as he's arranged a trick-or-treat date with Cousin Freddie, Lizzie Bruin, and Queenie McBear. So it's smart they're going in a group, which would often be the plan if no grown-up was supervising. But even then, I see such groups of kids usually having one parent or whatever supervise them. In the TV version, brother and sister talk about Lizzie and Freddie going along with them during their stroll at the start of the episode. But no Queenie McBear. And then Papa lights the jack-o'-lantern. Spooky! Yeah, that didn't happen in the TV version. But then this bit, where they plan out a map of their trick-or-treat route. It's pretty much the same in both versions, though brother and sister are wearing their costumes in the TV version, and it's an additional house that's not in the book.
Don't forget this house. They always give out crispy squares.
Love those crispy squares.
I wonder if crispy squares are anything like the honey squares they made in the TV version of The Bad Dream. That episode, the episode that derived very little from the book version? What the heck. In both versions, they plan to stop by Farmer Ben's, then their sitter, Mrs. Grizzles, as she makes special Halloween cookies, Teacher Jane as she gives out some pretty good treats, and Dr. Grizzly and her health snacks to be polite. Well, if they are apples, then I might not mind. And I definitely want to stop at Grizzly Gramps and Grand's place. And now they intentionally plan to miss Ms. McGrizz's house, aka Witter Jones in the TV version. This is how she's first mentioned in the book. And I don't have the rumor the TV version has, where she supposedly turns cubs into statues. But both versions have Mama reassuring the cubs that McGrizz, aka Witter Jones, is sweet and friendly. The TV version also has Mama add this bit.
When you get home, I want to hear that you've paid Witter Jones a visit.
Along with mentioning how she's in Mama's quilting class. And then they go out trick-or-treating when it gets dark. We got Lizzie Bruin as a skeleton, Cousin Freddie as a pirate, and Queenie McBear as the Wicked Queen from Snow White. Looking very much like the Disney version, except for the eye mask. In the TV version, Queenie doesn't join them, and Lizzie dresses up as a vampire bear.
Blah, blah. I want to bite your candy.
Yeah, and get a load of how Lizzie's skeleton costume looks kind of like a human skeleton, except for the bear skull mask. And before they could really get started, in the book version, they end up running into Too Tall and his gang, who take the kids to Crooked Lane. In the TV version, they make quite a bit of trick-or-treating progress before approaching Witter Jones's house, where they meet Too Tall and his cronies.
We're getting a ton of candy, huh, Freddy?
I know. My arms are getting tired.
This is our best Halloween haul ever.
Uh-oh.
Boo!
Ha ha!
Also, the book version has 3 cronies accompanying Too Tall, but only 2 in the TV version. I guess those make it easier on the animators, along with not including Queenie, especially given the so-so animation this show has. And now they don't bother to animate the polka dots on Sister's shirt and Mama's clothes, or the plaid stripes on Papa's shirt. The 1985 series took that shortcut too. The TV version has some criticized brother and sister's costumes at first, and they get down to business and putting the trick back in Trick or Treat. As they say, they're going to play a few tricks on Old Witch McGrizz, or Witter Jones in the TV version. They plan to TP her house, and the book has mentioned they will also tie some knots in her clothesline and smear honey on her broomstick. But then here, Ms. McGrizz invites them all into the house. Including Too Tall and his gang. Where she shows them that she made candy apples for all the trick-or-treaters, showing that she really is sweet and kind, though she's more interesting as Witter Jones in the TV version, where she really gets into the spirit of Halloween. First she spooks Too Tall and his cronies with a big phony spider, and then appears silhouetted at the door dressed as a witch, where she apparently takes Sister Lizzie and Freddy as she zooms in like a Viacom logo. Then Brother sees a little statuette resembling Lizzie as a vampire, hears Witter talking like a witch, and thinks the rumors are true, and tries to rescue the others. After sneaking into the window, Brother learns that Witter is indeed a sweet old lady that loves Halloween, and she's even dressed like a witch for the holiday. And as for Lizzie...
Hey guys, she even decorated her bathroom. You should check it out.
Yep, Lizzie just had a bathroom emergency. And even with the witch costume, Witter Jones does look a lot like Ms. McGrizz from the book, complete with monocle. I like what she says about the holiday.
Halloween is my favorite time of the year. I love entertaining neighborhood cubs and dressing up and hanging spooky things around the yard.
I couldn't agree more. I love doing all that on Halloween as well. And this may be my first one as Zak Wolf. But in the TV version, Too Tall and his gang don't get any treats, just tricks. When the good cubs help Witter Jones with her elaborate tricks and effects to scare Too Tall and his cronies before they could TP her house. Those cowards can't even tell that the bats, ghosts, and skeletons are obviously fakes. And they never even found out that Witter Jones is a sweet old lady that loves Halloween, like they did in the book version with Ms. McGrizz. While in the TV version, Witter Jones was possibly their last stop. Or maybe they hit a few more houses in their neighborhood after Ms. McGrizz was their first stop in the book version. It says here, the Cubs thanked her for the beautiful apples and went about in the rest of their trick-or-treat business. Then, look at the small amount of treats they've gotten in the book version. Unless there's more in their bags. Pretty unrealistic, if you ask me. Especially compared to the TV version where they got lots and lots of treats. But besides that, and the Cubs having taken off their costumes, it still plays out like the book version here for the most part. With Papa asking where they got the candy apples, and being surprised to learn that Miss McGrizz, aka Witter Jones, is a nice old lady. reinforcing the life lesson Mama initially brought up on how you should judge people by their appearance. And then we get this little gem in the TV version afterward.
Well, you're never too old to go trick-or-treating, especially for candy apples. I hope Witter Jones has some left.
Oh, Papa.
Ah, that Papa Q Bear. So there you have it, comparing the book and the TV adaptation of the Berenstain Bears Trick or Treat. Both do have their strengths and weaknesses, and I will say, I think I like Witter Jones from the TV version better than Ms. McGrizz, since she's really into the Halloween spirit like I am. While Ms. McGrizz is simply a sweet old lady that turns out to be nice to kids. Oh, also in 2005, the Berenstain Bears had another Halloween book written and published. The Berenstain Bears Go on a Ghost Walk. Yeah, it came out too late to be adapted into an episode of the PBS series. And it even has baby Honey. Despite her being born in 2000, she was never in the PBS series, because most books that the show adapted were from before she was born. I think this was one of the last books Stan Berenstain was involved with before his death, although their son Mike Berenstain was already helping out with writing and illustrating the books. Originally uncredited since the early 90s, and soon he started being credited as a co-author with his mother Jan after Stan's death. And then when Jan died in 2012, Mike Berenstain took sole control of writing and illustrating the books. He still does a great job with them. But I guess that's it for now. What will my next Halloween video be? Well, now that I can't do any more Arthur YouTube poops, watch this channel and find out.